Hey everybody, it's Jay from Two Birds, and we're going to be talking about the World's group draws, and they happened just this morning. You know, I woke up, wasn't really expecting anything too exciting to happen today, but I looked on YouTube, and they were in the middle of the group draw show, and, you know, Worlds is like 2 weeks away, guys. I kind of didn't realize it, but I'm hyped now. I'm getting so excited for it. And I'm going to be talking about my thoughts about the group draw that happened this morning. I've already watched it, so I'm just going to go straight in and talk about, exactly what I think of the groups and how, the probability of each team making it out of their groups and play-ins and whatnot. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. So these are the play-in groups, and you can see right now, so Group A was drawn to be Huntable Life, LNG, Infinity, Peace, and Red Canids. Group B was drawn to be Beyond Gaming, C9, Unicorns of Love, Galatasaray, and Detonation Focus Me. Group B is definitely the more competitive group by a little bit, because if you look at Group A, you've got Huntable Life and LNG. They're gonna make those two are gonna make it out guaranteed. In the groups, the number one of Group A and the number one of Group B automatically make it out of play-ins and into groups. The number 2 of Group A and the number 2 of Group B have to play a best of 5 against the third seed of the opposite group. So let's just take it as an example here. Let's just say Huntable Life is the number 2 of Group A. They have to play the number 3 of Group B, whether that be we'll just say it's Detonation Focus Me, and they have to play it in a best of 5 for their spot in groups. So my thoughts here: Group A, I think LNG is probably going to be the number 1 seed, and they're going to make it out straight into groups, out of play-ins and into groups. They definitely have the stronger, more consistent team. Tarzan in the jungle is absolutely nuts. He's definitely going to be the strong point of that team. And again, you put him against Willer, I don't think, it's going to be very, very LNG favored in the Huntable Life LNG matchup. And of course, the other three kind of don't really have that much of a chance to beat them, I don't think. Just because, the CLCK and the LPL, they're not going to let themselves get beat by, small minor region teams. So I do say that LNG is going to be number 1 and straight out, and Huntable Life is going to be second seed and have to play the best of 5. Now, Group B, the reason why I say it's the more competitive group is because all 3 of the smaller region teams are known for their international upset potential. Unicorns of Love always does well internationally. They upset teams. They shouldn't pretty much every year in groups or in play-ins. Galatasaray, the region, TCL, Turkey, they also, last year at Worlds, their representative, Supermassive, they upset Mad Lions, I'm pretty sure, and stopped them from getting into groups, something like that. The TCL region definitely is known for an upset region, especially recently. And then DFM, they did well at MSI, and then they now have their support. I think their support's going to be able to come. They beat C9 one game at MSI, so Group B definitely has the most upset potential. I do still think that it's going to be Beyond Gaming and C9 in the top 2. I want to say C9 is probably going to I want to say C9 will be number 1, but I honestly don't think so. I do think Beyond Gaming actually has a very, very good chance of beating C9 and taking that number 1 spot. And that's just because with how well PSG played at MSI, Beyond Gaming is at the same level as that. BYG is going to be number 1, C9 is going to be number 2. Big brain thoughts here. I think BYG is going to be number 1 in that group. Now, this leaves Huntable Life at number 2 in Group A and C9 at number 2 in Group B. So this would leave, and this is actually where it gets really easy for the Group B teams, because like I said, any of the 3 minor region teams of Group A are really young teams and shouldn't put that much of shouldn't put up that much of a fight in a best of 5. So whether it be Beyond Gaming or C9, the number 2, they play. I'm probably gonna say Peace or Infinity. Yeah, I'll go with Peace. They're probably gonna play Peace, and so it should be maybe 3-1. And then for Group A, Huntable Life, I'm just going to say probably DFM. The number 2 seed of Group A is going to play probably number 3 DFM. And that should still be, Huntable Life in that matchup. So overall, I think it's going to be Huntable Life, LNG, Beyond Gaming, and C9 that make it out of play-ins. If any team was going to be to upset, it'd probably be DFM or Peace. That's my final thoughts for play-ins. Going into the main group stage, here's how the group stage draw ended up. like I actually really like this draw. It's a really it's a pretty competitive draw in all the groups. Like so every year they have you have the group of death term, which is the group of death is basically where your top 2 teams are gonna almost be guaranteed out of the groups because they're just that like far above the rest. That's definitely your group A this year. Like you have 2 former world champions and Rogue, like, and then whoever from play-ins. And actually, I'm gonna talk about the play-in teams really quickly as well. So the way that they seeded group stage is there has to be a different region, like a different team from a different region. They can't be the same region in a single group. That also applies for play-in teams. So if my 4 teams I chose for play-ins are like the correct teams and choices, that would mean that Group A would be Cloud9. Unfortunate, because it's probably going to be Damwon and FPX out of Group A no matter who comes in from play-ins. I don't think Rogue or Cloud9 have the great chance of beating like either of these teams. They're just that good. The other thing is this group is going to be super fun to watch as well because you've got Nuguri and Khan in the top lane, both swapping teams. They did a little team swap. It wasn't exactly like a team swap. They didn't trade. They both bought out each other. It was weird. Another group where it's going to be pretty strong in the top 2. So Group B is probably going to be Beyond Gaming and the play-ins because you've already got your NA seed, your LPL and LCK seed. So this is going to be Beyond Gaming, and this I think is going to, I think it's still going to be probably EDG and T1 in the top 2 making it out. That being said, this group is probably the highest upset potential group, mainly because, again, Beyond Gaming and PSG, the 2 PCS teams, PSG upset a lot of people at MSI. They went really far, and Beyond Gaming is on the same level as them. 100 Thieves has looked really good, though they're young. Like they're young internationally in a sense, and they're NA. So you kind of have to take NA with a grain of salt sometimes. I do still think that T1 and EDG will make it out though. For Group C, this is probably the most competitive group, and the play-in team that's gonna be in this one is Hot on Life. This group, I think, is the most competitive by far because you have Fnatic, who is a really strong LEC team. They, yes, they lost to Mad Lions in playoffs, but this team has looked really strong. They've got Upset in the bot lane looking insane, wife buff, all that stuff. If we're going by wife buff, Fnatic will win Worlds. That means they'll make it out of group, but we're not going to, go too far into that. RNG, MSI, reigning MSI champions, looked a little shaky in their LPL return, but it's still RNG MSI champions. They do have that potential still, so I do think they'll probably top the groups. They'll probably top this group. Number 2 I'd say is probably Fnatic or PSG, just because PSG has looked insane. And again, Hanwha Life, I think Hanwha Life is literally just the Chovy show, the Church of Chovy. So if Chovy can 1v5, 1v9 his way through Group C, I'd love to see it. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I do think that RNG and probably either PSG or Fnatic are going to make it out of this group. Group D, that leaves LNG in Group D. This group is interesting. I do think Mad Lions make it out of this group. As for Genji, TL, LNG, I'm actually kind of leaning towards LNG making it out of this group, making the play-ins run and then making it out of this group straight out of play-ins. Just for the main reason that Genji has looked shaky. They finished shaky in LCK. They are pretty shaky internationally sometimes. As for TL, I also think they have a decent chance of upsetting Genji. I don't think they'll make it out of groups per se because I think LNG is just probably the stronger team. But this group should be interesting to watch just for the whole dynamic of how can Genji do, are they going to show their weak side? Are they going to play it strong and be confident? So overall, just to recap, because I know I can get off little rambles and tangents, just to recap my thoughts, Group A I believe is going to be Damwon FPX. Group B I think is going to be EDG and T1. But if any team is going to upset and any team is going to get upset, I think Beyond Gaming would probably upset a T1. And I do think if any of the top 2, so if EDG or T1 were to not make it, I think it'd be T1 that wouldn't make it, just because they looked shaky a little bit in LCK regular season. But EDG is known to flop at international competitions. Usually it's later in the state, like at semis. But anyways, again, DKFPX out of Group A, EG and T1 out of Group B, Group C, RNG, and I'm going to say Fnatic. And then Group D should, I think, be Mad Lions and LNG. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure if you like this kind of content, you know, this world-centered content, make sure to subscribe, because we're going to be doing a lot more Worlds content. We're going to be following Worlds pretty closely, because we all, you know, we here at Two Birds, we all love League of Legends, and we love watching it. So we're going to be doing a ton more Worlds content. This Worlds should be a really fun, I'm excited for this year. I'm so hyped. This is going to be a fun year at Worlds. And again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.